Hey, good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to the third episode of Story Time with Stewie. I am Matthew Stewart, aka Stewie, and I am your host for this series of how many ever episodes there are. Like I said, today we're on the third. For the first episode, we talked about my trip to West Virginia in an episode called West Virginia or Bust. In the second episode, I guess you could, well, the second episode was a joint episode. That was the midnight subway run and road trip for barbecue. And so for the third episode, I've got a story from Peru called Earthquakes and Nasca. So, first of all, in 2011, I went to Peru for the first time after I graduated from Southeastern Bible College with a group led by Dr. Hughley. And so I love my time there. I spent most of my time observing different classes because I studied elementary education while I was there. So I thought during that time, I was going to end up being an elementary teacher. During my time in Peru in 2014, I did teach English for the second, third grade classes at La Roca Christian School, probably about 30 minutes from Lima, an area called Las Palmas. I was there most of that year during 2014. And so, yeah, I taught ESL classes for second and third grade students, but also was involved in different things going on in the church there, including ministries on Friday nights. And so, a huge part of my time there, good friends, they still are, love them to death. The Velasquez family, Santiago and Elise, and James and Stanley, my nephews, my adopted nephews. So yeah, this is one of those stories. So something you guys need to know, we would on Friday nights go to this one area, probably about 10 minutes from the school, probably like 10 to 15 minutes from the school, I would probably say. And there was this elderly couple who held cell groups, I think we called them, for youth and the kids in that neighborhood. And so Thursday nights, we'd go there, we just knock on the different doors, invite the kids to the ministry the next night, let the parents know. And so anyway, just seeing that they would come. It's something we did every week. And then Fridays, we would have worship and Bible study with them and treat them to snacks and everything else. I absolutely loved that experience. So another thing that I got used to when I was in Peru that I'd never experienced before were earthquakes. I lived, above the classrooms, along with, and there was a buddy of mine who lived right next door. He was from North Carolina, David Hancock. I can't remember if he was involved in this story or not. At least maybe you can remember. But anyway, so what happened was, Friday, after we got done with our cell group, after the Bible study and everything else, we were taking all the kids back to their homes. So remember, I'm pretty used to earthquakes in that area. So anyway, me and Elise are walking all the kids and the youth back to their homes when all of a sudden, and we're outside, the ground starts to shake. Okay, well, Elise is even more used to this than I am. So she's like, it's no big deal. They know what to do. It's gonna be all right. So then all of a sudden, all the lights within, it seemed like a 5-mile radius, everything went black. And it was night at this time too, keep in mind. So couldn't hardly see a thing. The earth is, just shaking beneath our feet. Like I said, we're out in the open. Everyone is running outside of their homes. This lasted I'd probably say about um, 10 seconds. It didn't last that long. I forgot exactly where it come from. But anyway, so I mean that was one of the scarier parts of my time there because we're just out in the open. Um, Everything just goes black, around us for um, a few seconds, and you're just vulnerable. And everybody's, kind of freaking out. Well, eventually it stopped. So yeah, that was probably the scariest thing that happened to me while I was there. And then right after that, we loaded a bus for Nasca because that's where Santiago's grandparents live, and we were going to visit them for a couple of days, I think it was. So we got on a bus, and yeah, we rode out to Nasca. Now, I didn't get to see the Nasca lines. I never did get to see those because during the time that we were in that vicinity, it was night, so it was darker out. Couldn't see them. But anyway, yeah, we'd gone there to see Santiago's grandparents, to see the church that they served with, and have lunch with all of them, and attend some services. And it was really neat. Very, very kind, very sweet folks. And so we got there, gosh, I think 2 or 3 in the morning, and they picked us up. Um, Drove us to um, the house, and so we slept for a little bit, and then they served us breakfast. And what was really neat was, what you got to understand too is Peru is big about their national pride. I can remember every single beginning of the week, um, it was every day. I just know it was every week. All the kids were come out, and they were very involved in the national anthem, and everything else, and the pledge of allegiance to the flag of their nation. Very patriotic people. And so it was neat, I thought, because on the square where Santiago's grandparents lived, they had a parade that would go around that vicinity. So that was really neat. But absolutely loved it. Just really, really sweet folks, for what I recall. And we got to go to the church that they were involved in, have lunch with them, go to the evening service, and they took good care of us. But yeah, mainly what stuck out those couple of days was definitely that earthquake. I had been through some while I'd been there, but that was by far the scariest one. And by the way, I told you guys that we went by bus to Nasca. Well, got another story coming up at some point about crossing about me and David going with Santiago to renew our visas. We had to go across into Guayaquil, Ecuador. 26-hour bus ride. You heard me right. And like I said, I'll get to that story. It may be the next episode. Just depends how I feel. Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, this is the story of earthquakes and Nasca. And if I can recall some more stories from Peru, I'll be sure to share those as well. Love you guys. God bless. Guys, have a good night.